It's preparing. Okay, it should be live now. Nine, quiet. No. Off of it, right now. All right.
It's so funny. My started going crazy too, of course.
Of course, you know, they want to do it, you know.
They want to be a
right now. Yeah. All right. Okay, now we are live. All right. Okay. All right. So are you ready here?
I am ready. Ready as I can be.
Okay. Hello, everyone. This is Cynthia Toet, and I'm here. Hold on. We're going through Zoom, so things are looking a little differently on the screen. And let's see how I can close that box here. I don't want to close that and let it close my meeting. I guess I shouldn't even worry about it. And we are doing a live here for growing pains within a twin flame connection. And I have Kathleen Diane here as a guest speaker. Ooh, she's going to lead and guide. She's going to lead and guide us through this connection. Well, I've been in a twin flame connection, and she's going to kind of like pull out some residues of the feelings that have been stuck in there that are still trying to make shift and movement. So the day that I actually do come in contact with that twin again, I don't have that fear bug sitting there holding on to my throat chakra. And Kathleen Diane, she's a part of Real Life Reflections. Yeah. So while you guys are here, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share the show out to other people so we can let other people know what we're doing and talking about. Woo, woo, woo. So Kathleen, you want to introduce yourself, even though I kind of did, but you can introduce yourself too.
Sure. So as she said, I'm Kathleen Diana with Real Life Reflections. And like she said, I'm here to help her go through her journey and talk about everything she felt along the way and work through some stuff and clear up all the residual stuff that might be sticking around.
Yeah, you shake it up, get it out, shift it, flip that story around to better.
Flip it with Miss Flip.
Yeah. So I guess there was, I've been on this journey that I didn't even know was a twin flame journey in the beginning of time. And there's pieces of the story that are kind of going to get left out in this episode, because I'm going to kind of jump into where the connection started to get more vibrant, more real, more obvious that there's something going on besides just all in my head, even though it was never really in my head. It was out there in the universe somewhere, wasn't it, Kathleen?
There for, along the way, and had to be in my head too. And I don't think that happened.
So it wasn't just in my head. I mean, it was in many people's heads.
In the universe's head.
Yeah, that's what I think. I believe I have been led, I have been guided by the universe. It's been a divine calling. It's not anything that I can erase. I can't shut out. I can't make it not happen. And it's only because I was open to the divine calling. I said, okay, divine, what do you got for me, right?
Yeah.
And,
so what was first of all, what exactly is a twin flame? There might be people out there that don't even really know what that is or haven't even heard about it.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was, and I hadn't even heard about it when I was in the middle of one. And a twin flame is, you're always looking, people are always looking for the soulmate. I want my soulmate connection. And the soulmate connection is more available. I mean, more people will find a soulmate within this lifetime than will find a twin flame. The twin flame, it's very rare to find your twin flame in the first place in this lifetime or in a lifetime. But the difference is a soulmate connection is there to wake you up in a certain area, and it could be a brother, it could be a friend, it could be a mother, it could be a teacher, it could be a lover. It doesn't have to be the one that you're with for the rest of your life, right?
Exactly. It could be anybody that maybe you have a significant influence on their lives in one way or another, or them on yours. Anybody, really. But a twin.
I think a twin flame, that's okay. I think a twin flame is more like where you're doing kind of like the same kind of thing as the other person is doing, kind of about the same kind of thing, and you guys don't even know about it. You know, let's talk about that piece of the journey. We didn't even bring that in, but like, you know, like at the beginning of time, you know, when I was going to go look for a trailer, he went and bought a mobile home trailer, you know, it's like,
yeah,
at the same time.
Yeah,
or it's like when I went,
he was doing the same things, the same days. You'd get something. I remember that feather? Didn't you? Weren't you playing with?
Yeah. I had a feather in my hand, and that day they went live on their show, and they brought out an identical feather. In fact, I still have it here.
And it wasn't a feather either. It was a different looking feather. And there's like
it's like this, you know, it's crafted, it was made, and they had something on their show that very night. It's like moments later.
There was so many things like that too, like not even 10 or 20. There was like right.
I mean, I didn't even make a list of all that because that was a last minute thing of when we talked about really defining what a twin does. Once I ordered something in the to come to me from Amazon, and I opened the box, and it was this cactus for the dog. You know, it was a cactus toy for the dog. It was 10 or 15 minutes later, I'm turning on their show, and his co-host is picking up this cactus that's on their table and saying, you know, here's a cactus we got here. And I'm just sitting there like, what are you doing? I mean, there's no way you could not have seen me get that and go hurry up and buy a cactus to get it onto that show on time. It was just like, how did this stuff happen?
So you mirror each other a lot. And then another thing with twin flames is that you can really bring up the deepest of deepest stuff that's in you, you know, in the other person, like helps you look really far inside yourself and face everything in a way that nobody else does.
Right. They touch your soul, and it's like they will show you your wounds that you still have inside of you that you're not even aware that those wounds still exist.
Yeah, for sure. Are you there in the first place?
So through my journey, I've been utilizing that. You know, I'm going, oh, when those wounds come up, that's when I know I need to flip my script around. I need to flip my internal story around. I've been utilizing the journey as a healing tool, even though I'm in love with the journey, and I believe I'm in love with the person that's on the other side. But, you know, right now, I don't even know if we know how to come together yet, you know, and that's why I believe we haven't come together, is because this healing's been taking place.
Yeah, and that's the thing about twin flame relationships too. It's not like an easy thing. Like it's not, you know, like there's usually a lot involved in it. It's not like so easy. A lot of times I've even heard that sometimes the twin flame is with somebody else, or in a faraway country, or just something that would make it really hard to actually be able to come together. I've heard a lot of that about twin flames as well.
Right. Or the time that I was down south, and I had to go up north 500 miles to get some of my major teeth work done. And that week, I mean, nobody knows. And that week he's posting about something about going to the dentist to get some major teeth work done. It's like, it's beyond amazing. It's beautiful.
I know.
How did this happen?
It's crazy. So for you, when did you first realize that, this is something special going on in your life? When did you first like notice something?
Well, let's see. The first time I actually saw him online and I realized that I had been at his place, where I was actually going through his stuff. It's not like I found his stuff because I knew of him, because I didn't. I found his stuff just, by, stuff coming up on my feed and on my YouTube channel. And then I go, oh, we got a connection. I just like knew right away from the deepest part of my soul. So I actually made a 1,000-mile round trip to see if I could go meet up with him, because I had already met him about a year ago at his place of work. And so I just figured I'd go to his place of work. It's his business, I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. And I mean, this passion overrode me, this desire overrode me. It's not like, it's a way I felt. I never felt anything before. That was the beginning of the beginning. It could have been a year ago, but I didn't see it. Maybe he saw it.
Wasn't it a feeling of just knowing that you needed to be connected with him in some way, but not really understanding or knowing too much more about?
I knew that I was a healer, and I knew that he was a healer, and I felt like that we needed to come together to do healing work together. That was my very first, it's like we need to come together to do this healing for the collective together. That was my very first insight.
Yeah. So, how did that go?
Well, I got down here and nobody's around, and I'm peeping around outside trying to figure out what am I supposed to do from here. I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. So I'm leaving a note, but the note I'm leaving is so differently than the reason why I came down there. But the note I'm leaving is, telling them that, the things I do and felt like we needed to connect, but I didn't say for healing purposes. I felt like more work-related purposes is what I actually utilized at that time. Why I didn't bring up the healing purposes, because, that was still like a little, weird to talk about at that time in my life. Who does that, And so I actually was writing a note to leave there, and then his co-host actually showed up, and I was able to give the note to his co-host, and the co-host said, he's extremely busy, but he would get the note to him and would email me back, and I was down in the area for only a week, and I did get an email back saying he was too busy to take me in at that time. So I went back home for another year. I didn't really pay much mind to it.
Right. Until I think I remember around the time when you started to pay more mind to it. Because
tell me about it.
Was that the night in the car when we were sitting there talking?
I forgot about that. Yeah, when I was watching his channel, that he would do these tarot card readings, and I go, I need to be on that channel with him doing the tarot card readings, because he knows how to read the dark side of the tarot, right? And I wanted to come onto this tarot, and I wanted to put the light side of the tarot onto the story, right? And what happened? We did a reading. What happened with that reading, Kathleen? I wanted to know if he was doing readings on me too or something. Is that what I did?
About that. You wanted to know, was it if he was doing readings about you or thinking about you or something? And the one card that comes out had the lion on it.
It's the only card out of all 32 decks I had at that time that could have ever even represented them so clearly, because it had their sign right on there, all spelled out, and it's a name that is within their name that, is like, how did that happen? Both Kathleen and I went, oh!
Yes, I know.
And what was it? It was only 3 days later, he brought somebody else onto a show to read with him, but it was a male figure. And I said, you can't replace Miss Gypsy with a guy.
Yeah. Wasn't it someone that was somebody that was also kind of seeing the positive and the good and things? Was it some?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So it was so weird. It's like that should have been you.
We both felt like it was supposed to be me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so after that thing in the car, so many things happened, synchronicities and everything. You know, of course, making both of us just letting us know and believe in your story and everything more and more. But for this show, why don't we cover, I want to talk about that one night. I remember I was up in a town a little bit away from here with my little boy driving around, and I got a message from you saying that you were about to meet up with him. And I got on the phone with you. Do you remember that night?
Yeah, I was down here in Southern California. I mean, we're leaving out a lot of the story in between because there's no way we can tell the whole story in one show, right, Kathleen? There's just no way. But I was getting messages here and there, and you know, one of them would anyhow, I saw their show and they were talking about going somewhere, and then they were talking about possibly going to the sunset. I just knew at that moment. I go, oh, they're going to the beach, and I wasn't even dressed. I wasn't even ready. I ran to the store. I went into the store, and when I walked in, it's telling you how many people can fit in the store, and it said 2, 3, 4. So I know I'm doing the right thing. I go in the store. I get some new clothes. I get some makeup and perfume.
Signs.
The signs were impeccable. They were so loud on that day, and I actually changed out in the parking lot. And I didn't care. It was just a journey I was on. I was at the cash register. I had just seen these numbers 888 before I had come into the store. So that's material satisfaction, right? And then the cashier's ringing me up, and she's not done ringing me up, and all of a sudden she goes 88888, and I go, why'd you say that? And she goes, I have no idea why. And I'm going, I don't know, but it fits in with my story. I'm buying it, right? So I actually drove to the beach, but how I drove to the beach was this weird roundabout way. The GPS didn't take me the way I normally go, and it's just like, I'm just not quite sure, but I know I'm going to run into them, but you know, how I'm going to run into them, I don't really even know either, you know, but it's the signs that led me there, the signs that got me right there. I mean, I saw their vehicle parked, and I went and parked mine, and it was like, okay, now you're talking about feeling like a teenager, because I have no idea what I'm going to say, do, or be next. You know, it's just like, oh, here it is. Here's an opportunity. And I went up to the vehicle, and I'm kind of peeking in, and then I go to walk away, and then I hear the vehicle start, and I'm going, what? And so I go to look in again, and I think they honked it or something. And then I knew that they weren't nearby. And I said, you mother, because I knew that they were playing with me. I mean, my intuition was saying that's what they were doing. And I actually saw him, and I got to talk to him for about 5 minutes. And it was like, I wanted to tell him so much in that 5 minutes. And at first it was like, do we know each other? And I'm going, well, kind of, sort of. And the bottom line, you know, they told me.
Like you said, you had met him that one time at an event. Was it a couple years prior to that?
Yeah, it had been 2 years. It had been 1, 2, 2. At that time, it'd been 2 years, a little bit over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I had actually first met him at his place of business without knowing what his place of business was. I was there for a whole different event. That he actually approached me on that event. I mean, that was our very first conversation. Like I said, he may have seen something that I didn't see at that point in time, right?
So at the when you did run into him at the beach, like how did it go compared to how you would have liked to or pictured it going, maybe?
Well, I felt like it was very short-lived because he was down there with his production crew and he didn't have time for me. And so it was like it's like almost he's always hurrying up and shutting the door and not really letting me in. And,
Mhm.
you know, but he did seem like he was interested because he told me to call his number that's on the webpage and told me how to
Right.
get to his number personally. So I went and called that number right away. I mean, like at 1 o'clock in the morning. But again, I didn't know what I was going to say, do, or be, right?
Yeah. Because
Because I,
he didn't have to say, here's this number, give it a call or whatever.
right, he
But
didn't exactly. No, I
mhm.
think he's been interested all along too, but there's this underlying feeling between the both of us, it's like,
Mhm.
I approach there at the beach. I mean, why do people approach people there at the beach like that? It's because I couldn't find any other door in. So, um, but that night they actually recorded something and they said on the recording, it said, this was where the first romantic date was, right? But we met a couple of years ago. And so the next day I went back to pretty close to the same location and I said the same thing. This is where the first romantic date was. So I like mimicked his recording. And but something happened about 6 weeks later. And maybe it was only 3 weeks. I don't know, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, somewhere in that time frame.
Oh,
Yeah, he had his live show and he actually brought me live on his show, but I wasn't personally there. He said, "Oh yeah, this is Gypsy Medicine Woman, and she's so much years age," and yeah, I blocked her, so I got blocked.
hey, yeah, well, got talked about on a show.
Yeah.
Um,
I
I
mean, I
mean,
always wanted to be on a show, right?
yeah, and I know me and you have talked about things that could have been going on with him and stuff, but what went on with you after you saw that, after you listened to that? How did it make you feel? What did you feel hearing that when people were so excited the
it,
meeting at the
when I got blocked, it really devastated me. It was like, what? I didn't understand it. This is somebody that hadn't even really gotten to know me. They didn't even see really what it was that I was trying to approach them about. And they were calling me a stalker. It's like a stalker. I never looked at myself at being that way. It must mean, so what happened at that time, it took me probably 3 weeks from there to finally, flip my script around, because at first I took in the feeling of being rejected, on this big level, because it meant the world to me, but it's like shutting the door on me without even
that's
knowing
how hard
why.
when, and I'm sure a lot of people have felt it when you come across somebody and maybe you meet them or whatever, and you're feeling so excited and thinking about it, and then you hear something different, that at least right then in that moment they didn't seem to be feeling or doing the same thing or the same way that you were, and it definitely, I can understand the rejection, and that would not feel good.
Yeah, so it took me about 3 weeks to I'm going, because I've got to flip those emotional stories around, because my story couldn't just go from this hidden love story that's hidden in the background that I don't even know what it is that's being created, but all of a sudden gets shut down by the one that Divine's leading me to. I'm going, what the heck is this? So I actually, one day I took down all the emotions that I was feeling. This is how I actually flipped my script around. I took down all the emotions that I was feeling, and then I circled the emotions that I was familiar with. So I go, oh, those are mine. And then the other ones, they were his. I'm going, oh, so it really helped me identify what part I needed to heal and handle at that moment of time. and which ones were his to deal with that I didn't have to handle at all. So it was like it will almost let me release his emotional input to what was going on within this connection, this hidden connection. It's hidden in plain sight.
That can definitely happen a lot, especially if you're a person, well, maybe it happens with everybody, but we notice it more when you're an empathic type of person, where you'll pick up on other people's energy, and you'll be feeling these things, and it doesn't make sense for you or for what's going on with you, but you figure out that, oh, it's so and so's emotions I'm feeling, or the collective's emotions I'm feeling, and then it makes more sense to you, and then like you said, you can work on releasing them because it's not your actual emotion that you're feeling.
Right. Well, and at that point, I was able to work through the emotions that were bothering me at that time, where I wasn't devastated anymore. I was like, okay, I'm all back. It was like I was all back in, willing to give something else a new shot, a new try, a new way. It was like that. It didn't shut me down. The reason why we're actually coming onto the show is because I want to make sure that we're going back to these times to see if there's any residue left over within myself through these times as we're going through it. So that happened down at the beach, right? And what has happened is it's been almost 2 years since that time happened, right? But I wanted to see what kind of residues were still left in me, and where I still felt it, like in my body and things. And
so do you still feel some stuff as you talk about that and think back on it?
I didn't realize that until we started talking about putting this show together. It's like, I just wanted to tap into it to find out where do I feel that in my body still? And it's right here in my chest. I'm going, oh, that means I haven't let go of something. So I dug a little deeper to see what that was. It was the feeling of being rejected, like being tossed out. That was, because it meant a lot to me. Yeah. And the way for the release to happen, it's been releasing some since I actually became aware of it, is through knowing that journey has definitely opened me up for expansion, to be in this more aware person than ever before, more in tuned, and how to get over some lower vibrational feelings that hang on to us from the past. Because, I'm not being rejected, I'm being protected is the bottom line.
Yeah, right. Very true. So what do you think is good for people to do if they think back on something and they feel those emotions somewhere in their body still? What's the process? What do you do when you feel that?
Well, one is identify it. That's a good starting point, is it identifying where it's holding onto the body, and which is in my chest. So it's like, okay, I know that that's where it resides, right? And for me to release that, I'll go, it's like I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I was rejected back there at that time, that was a few years ago. Do I still feel rejected today?
Are you tapping everywhere or mostly on the areas you feel stuff?
I'm tapping there on a tapping point. It's those points. The points are right here on this wrist, and then right above your eyelids, and right side of your eyes, below your eyes, below your chin, on your chest, on your sides, and then on the top of your head. And they're called EFT tapping points. And the reason why you do that, it helps release the energy that may still be residing in there. And you talk
Mhm.
about the energy, you talk about the resistance, you talk about the rejection, and then you
Yeah.
talk about what would you like to bring forward? What would you
Mhm.
like to bring into the present moment? I want to expand. I want to grow. I want to release. I want to
So
know I'm
back on something where, say, you felt rejection, what's something you would say as you're tapping?
you're going to talk about the rejection.
Like,
I felt rejected during this time.
mhm.
Why are you doing the tapping?
Like you would
And
say,
then
I affected when this happened, and I didn't like how it felt, stuff like that.
right. Because when you're doing that, it's when we're tapping and talking about it, what it's doing is it's shaking it up, it's loosening
Mm.
it up, it's like making it so it's not holding on so tight, because in that chest, that's where it's holding on tight from.
Yeah. Hmm. And then, so after you're saying how you felt, what do you do after that? Or does that doing that?
You also bring yeah, you also bring into the tapping the way that you would like to feel, because we're releasing what's stuck inside of us, and now we're asking, I would like to feel, acceptance. I like to feel the expansion that it took place from this. I want that to reside in me.
And I bet you say something like, probably like you feel whole and complete and everything, right? So you're not
Yes.
depending on somebody else and what they did or didn't do to complete you.
Right.
Right.
It's not about pointing the finger at anybody else for the way that you feel internally. It is about releasing the feeling and bringing in the new feeling with no other person energy within that.
Yeah, where it's not dependent on them at all. It's just
Right.
in your power, right? You keep your power. It's all
Right.
about you, really. Mm-hmm.
You can tap for other people. Like, I could bring his energy into me and tap for him through his things, as long as spirit is leading and guiding me to do that, because it's all through healing. Just not that I have done that. Maybe I should, but it's not all about him or all about me. It's about both of us and the journey together, even though we're apart and we haven't never really truly come together.
True. Do you think it's important to say you went through something, or a person went through something and they felt that stuck energy inside them and they did some of that tapping and it helped them feel better? Do you think it's important to at a later point, think back on it and see if there's still any more left
Yes,
over?
that's what we're talking about, because in fact, I didn't even know that there was any more until we talked about this show. It's like I just said, let's do a let's fine tune Miss Gypsy's temple.
Oh, describe it, fine tuning. Yeah, I like that. Makes sense. So, but when all that happened back then, and you did what you did with your words and releasing what was his and everything, I remember you feeling like super great and back on track, like in 2 seconds.
like it never happened in the first place, right?
Yeah, I was like, ooh, she's good. And then wasn't it soon after that that we went on our little trip to that one festival we went to? Was
Yeah,
it,
it was.
or was it the next, it was the next year, huh? When was it?
No, it was that year.
It was
It
that
was
year.
only 3 months. It was only 2 or 3 months later. I moved through that stuff, and we were, and how it all happened. Divine led it. Oh, tickets are on sale. When I bought the tickets, it was 11:11. It's like, how did that happen? It wasn't 11:11 where I was, but the ticket printed 11:11 on it.
Yeah, we were definitely supposed to go. I remember when you first told me about it, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to figure this one out. And then boom, 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 it all came together so easy. And so we were definitely supposed to go. And that was an event that he attended as well. And
Right.
what do you think about that, that whole experience?
Well, after the first experience, you know, I go, okay, well, I'm going to go to this event to actually not really to be trying to get him to talk to me, but I'm going there to show him who I am because I'm more than just somebody to shut out and turn around and shut the door on.
That was a really good feeling trip. I felt like you were just pure you, so you, just into you and how you are. And that was a good feeling trip. I liked it.
What happened when we first got there, when we first pulled
Oh,
up? You remember that? You can tell
yeah,
us. Remember what happened there?
I think so. I remember we pulled up and I had to go to the restroom, right? And did we ask where the restrooms were? Okay, so we pulled over by the restroom as we're starting to come into the event. And this guy comes walking up to your car, and
there's nobody around.
Yeah. And people could know your car if somebody knew your car, because it's nice and it's black and it's got a hot pink race stripe and stuff like that. So so this guy who is working at the festival walks up to us, and what did he say? Are you here to see so and so, right?
Right.
Which is the her twin flame,
which is my twin. Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting to say, because he was just one of the many people and groups that were speaking and performing and everything there, and not in a mean way, but not one of the biggest ones. But anyways, so why in the world would that person come up to your car and ask that?
We're sitting outside the restroom and there's nobody else around. I mean, they walked up the hill to get to us, you know, to talk to us.
And then why would they assume that we're there to see him? Not that we were, it was a fun trip anyways, but why would they ask that when there's so many other people that we could be there to see, which would make more sense, actually.
Yeah.
So,
right. I have no idea.
I don't know. We have our thoughts on it, but
so I did actually go there to just, you know, flaunt my being in front of them, just to show them that, you know, I'm not who it is that you think I am, you know. And I actually, it was really neat when I actually went to go to his event to be there. When he was playing his music, it was like I was the only one up front on the front stage, like dancing with him. Everybody's way back there in the back. Wasn't that like for almost a complete hour? I just had nobody else came up to dance up in front.
Yep. Everybody was way back. It was out. Yeah, it was outside, and he was up on the stage DJing and dancing by his little thing, and everybody else was kind of just way back there, but you were right up front. I recorded quite a bit of that, and it was pretty much like it was your guys' show or something.
It felt that way, didn't it?
Yeah. It was so neat.
When I walked away, everybody came back down. Everybody came down to be in that spot. It's almost like they granted the space for us to get to know each other. It's almost like everybody knows the story going on, even though they don't know the story.
Yeah, and honestly, I think there's something about your guys' energy that goes together. Like, looking back at the videos and me watching right then too, the way he dances and the way you're dancing, it just all goes together as if you guys were really, really like dancing together and like were together. So the people
like
probably,
you
know, this never happens, the thing, but like you said, that's what coming out. It never happens. But anyways, I think that the people probably felt that energy between you guys and were respecting it, is what I think was going on.
Well, I did go at the end of the show. I went to the back of the stage and I waited my turn to talk to him, but when he got done talking to everybody else, he turned his back to me and walked up to somewhere to get into his backpack. I'm going, well, you're not going to ignore me? And I walked right up to him. And I touched his arm, and he kind of jerked a little bit, and I think he was they expected me to ask him out or something, you know. But you see, I'm the divine feminine. I don't do the asking, you see. What I did is I let him know, I go, Kathleen and I are getting ready to go out to dinner, right? And he put his head down, right? And I go, I just
she was going to come or something.
And I said, I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed your show. And he went from that downward position. I mean, this happened so fast. I call it the peacock move. Yeah. He put his head up, shoulders back, his chest out, and his eyes lit up, and he said, well, thank you. It was just such a beautiful feeling to get. I never could get myself to really go and approach him, because I really felt like he needed to approach me after that, right? It's because I just really went there to show him that I wasn't like everybody else.
My favorite moment that I know of you guys so far. It's just such a pure, neat moment when I think it just, like you said, really caught him off guard, because so many people, you know, they want him to do this or want him to do that or want something from him. And you were just letting him know something. And the way you started what you were saying off made him think you were going to do the same thing that everybody else does, you know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. You were just letting him know, and then just letting him know how awesome he did, you know. And I think that's just such a neat moment.
Yeah. You remember when we left and I got pulled over for a speeding ticket?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They didn't give me a ticket though.
I know. If it was me driving, we would have got one for sure. Anyways, hopefully you have some residual emotions left over from that event.
Well, that event would be, you know, it was really nice, but when I actually asked the questions that we were talking about, is there any residual stuff in me? And it was like, there was some residual from me, and it wasn't like anything happened to create it, besides the fact maybe I thought there would be more from that event than what happened, you know? And so as I asked myself that throughout the week, because the questions came up, it was the heart chakra that felt denied, you know. It was the heart chakra that felt like dimmed. It felt like, you know, and where I would go with that heart chakra today with the healing, knowing that dimness is kind of still there over that, even though it was such the most beautiful journey in my lifetime. I would never take that away from me, is to know how much growth.
Being honest, you felt like inside you were hoping for more at that event. That's so good to recognize. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to approach him more times, but the thing is I didn't want to be that one that's saying, hey, you know, I didn't want to be clingy. I didn't want to be everybody else, because I'm not everybody else. I feel as if I know I'm worthy, you know, but still at that time, today I feel so much more growth. I mean, because so much has taken place from then, that I do not feel the same way that I felt at that time. I would have been more, because at the beach, it was more like the teenage feel, you know, that you're going out, you're gonna go see if you can meet up with this guy, right.
And all the butterflies and all nervous and not knowing what to say, and oh my gosh,
right. But the next one at the that journey was more. There is still like some uncertainty going on with myself, because I didn't know how to approach them any more than what I was already approaching them. So I guess so the heart kind of was dimmed, let's say. And at this point, what I would do is I would take that heart chakra and allow it to grow. You know.
Yeah.
From that.
And I think I don't know, but I'm kind of feeling, hearing whatever is it, being grateful, like gratitude for what was experienced too.
Oh yeah. It was an awesome, beautiful journey. then next they were having a dance at their place, and you were going to come to it, right?
Oh, yes, man. Yes. That one, I really thought I was going to get to come when it was going to happen and everything too. But then they changed the date,
Mine got
right?
in the middle.
Didn't they change the date? And we already had plane ticket and like everything done, right? And the weekend was already set up with my little boy. Like,
yeah, I know, because you have a lot to do to be able to get things in order, you know, and everything's set up just fine for that weekend. But then it got changed to the following weekend because he had gotten sick.
Yeah.
So you and I still had fun.
Yeah, that was still fun. But then you went to the event by yourself, and I remember you telling me about that. You did you get to speak a little bit at it?
I did get to speak a little bit. There were a few amazing things that happened in that event to me, in my eyes. One is I had the VIP ticket, and so there was a moment that the ones that had the VIP ticket were able to go into his headquarters, right? And where I was standing in his headquarters was where he was standing. He came in to stand. I'm kind of like we're both at the front and center stage through this, you know. So, you know, he did some talking. I would speak a little bit because I'm like still a little gun shy, a little bit nervous, you know, because to me, I have him up on this is part of the journey. I have him up on a pedestal. And that's where we can't come together. If I have him on a pedestal and I haven't matched him, that's why we hadn't been able to meet, you know, because I had him on a higher pedestal than I currently was, right? And then there was a couple of times, you know, when people were asking questions and answers. The first, I mean, somebody went to come and hand me the mic right away before even thing was started. And I said, wait, don't give me the mic until I'm, you know, I'm going to grab the mic when I feel called for, don't hand me the mic when you haven't even told me that you're putting me on stage. You know, so I had this underlying feeling that, you know, like the dance was for me to be there. I almost felt like it was really just for me, but you know, it's not just me, it's their thing, you know. That was just my own. But I did, you know, when something would get said, I was able to speak my 2-minute or less speech because I know how to, you know, change people's stories around like that. And I remember the first time I spoke, someone was going, preach, preach, preach. They did cut that part out of their video, so it's not recorded on their end, but I got it in my phone somewhere. And then there was it was shortly after that I was able to speak again. And then I remember his words back was, you know, and it's just because, you know, he said something like, what are you trying to do? Cut everybody's heads off. And I mean, I was content. I was calm, and it didn't even bother me at that time. If I were to have said anything back, I would have said, no, what I'm trying to do is flip your guys' emotional story out. So if I'm trying to do anything, I'm cutting out those lower emotions so we're not living with them as our baseline, you know. So today I would know what to say, but at that time I was still growing. I was still expanding to even be up on stage.
Sometimes what to say. So often, even with me too, I think back on something and that would have been perfect to say, or I wish I would have said that, but
it didn't touch me then. It didn't, and not until later when I re-listened to it, I'm going, oh, is that what he really said? You know, and then like I was some evildoer, you know.
Few pictures there too. Didn't you get to go out and look at his cars and stuff?
Oh yeah, I was ready to go for a ride with him. I got to dance too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, someone needed a ride. I mean, if I look back at the event, I know I allowed someone else needed a ride somewhere, and you know, and they were getting like they wanted to go, and I told them I'd give them a ride. And if I look back, I really, you know, I wish I didn't do it that way, but I do believe divine has a purpose and a plan for everything and why everything happened that way. But at that point, I believe that's when other people's emotions or other people's energy started to get in the middle of what was happening between the two of us. I truly believe that's when other people's energy actually started getting in the middle of the connection. But what so that event there just brought me bravery. You know, I was brave, I was ready, I was, you know.
As you talk about now, though, you feeling it anywhere?
Yeah, well, what happened, it's actually that event's not what blocks me. There was another dance event that happened. There was an event that took place in between here and there, and that event actually,
the one where he was speaking at.
Yeah.
So what happened
when I look back at pictures? I mean, I went and took a picture with somebody, and he took a picture with that same person. Neither one of us knew. He didn't know I took a picture with that person, and I didn't know he took a picture with that person. So that's another mirror image that was taking place with us on that very day.
Didn't something interesting happen in the parking lot? Like with
yeah, that was and this is a divine. This is divine speaking. Divine is definitely, I mean, I've been living down in the area that he's in, but I never ran into him besides at the beach that time, you know, but here I'm getting ready to drive into the parking lot, and we're side by side. I mean, I see him side by side. I'm, woo, there he is.
Right, a big event and a lot of people and a lot of cars, right?
Right.
And you're right there next.
We were buying our parking ticket at the same time. I was so nervous. I couldn't even punch in the numbers. And then when I drove, I mean, and then they went up to go park, and they should have been parked by the time I got my ticket and started driving up. And when I went to drive up, I got myself all parked, and there he goes driving right by me. So I saw him three times before the actual event started in my eyes. So that's, to me, divine saying, oh, divine led us to be here together, to meet each other during
during the parking process.
So during the parking process.
Times you could have arrived or whatnot. Yeah, that's just another tiny thing. We could make like a 10-hour show on all the synchronicities and interesting things that have happened. We really could. So we won't do it tonight, though.
No, not tonight. We both got lots to do.
Yeah. So this event, though, go into what happened with it. The one he was talking about now.
I got to talk to him about for 7 minutes. So it went from 2 minutes to 7 minutes. I mean, I got to talk to him more there than I even got to talk to him at the dance. But it still feels so short-lived. But my question still is, you know, I'm wanting to hook up with him, you know, I'm wanting to sit down and talk, you know. And I don't even know if he understands what I really want to talk about. He might think it's all about work, but truly I want to talk about the journey.
Or something where you can talk more than just being put on the spot for a couple minutes, right? You want to be able to like have a conversation without get a couple minutes.
My first words out is, you know, I want to know when we can meet, you know, and he's going, you know, for at least not another year, you know. He don't have time. It was like, so right away, I mean, I'm feeling, you know, like I'm still not getting an open door that I'm looking for. I'm looking for an open door. But we did have some personal conversation at that time. I talked about my show a little bit, and he'd just gotten back from a long journey, and his eye was bloodshot, and we talked about that a little bit, and all it was good. And then we talked about one of his, hello, Harry, be happy. And we talked about, and Andrew and Divine and Nishma. And Nishma, but we did talk about a little bit about my show, but not enough. I mean, if I were to go back to that moment in time, I wouldn't have been asking, when can we hook up or when can we see each other again? I wouldn't be doing that. I would actually be talking about my show, where I've come and where it's been and where it's going. That's what I would talk about today.
Right.
That's how I've grown since that time. And it's been over a year now. But when they were talking about why things had taken so long up to this time, because they had lost one of their parents. And I know I've been there along that journey on the emotional side, being empathic. I'm able to feel what's going on there. And then at one point it was about, they were saying something like they didn't like my approach. Now, if I was more playful and being Miss Gypsy, I would have said, which approach, because there's been lots of approaches that have been so beautiful.
Approach.
But instead I went into defense, and that's the wound, that's the deep hidden wound that needs to be taken care of. I went into defense to defend, why I showed up at his place when I drove that 1,000 miles, that round trip. I mean, I went way back to the beginning of time. I went to the beginning of time for defense.
Yeah, we definitely answer things differently when we're coming from a place of defense where we're not healed versus after we've worked through things and healed. Things are going to come out a lot different.
So at this moment, when they were saying they didn't like my approach, I feel at this moment that whatever that they're going through, they're blaming me for the way that they feel. So that's their own insecurity. And I had again asked before I actually closed off our talk was, do you think we could get together for an hour or something? And the answer was that he wasn't feeling it. And then I was done. I was done having any exchange, any conversation or anything, because, I was devastated at being shut down and blamed and not being accepted, so it was complete, I felt completely, I think unvalued, let's say. That's actually what it is. I did not feel
wasn't like mean about it or rude about it. It's just the things he said weren't like welcoming or
right. It was just, I didn't have, like when I'm live, I'm playful, I'm energetic, and if I did that live thing in person, if I could bring that livelihood into that moment, it would have changed everything.
Let me tell you, is what I believe he saw at the festival, the one we were talking about earlier, because you were just pure you, on you, like the whole time at the festival. And I believe he got to see that there. And I believe it's part of the reasoning why the experience went a little different too, because you were really you. He got to feel and see really you there, while at this event, it just comes out a little different, huh? But when he's saying the things that he's saying, I can see how it can start like affecting you like quickly and then.
Right. And no, it happened so fast. It was like a rapid, my whole body went into from vibrancy. I was ready to meet and ready to go to all of a sudden I felt dull. I felt weak. I felt insecure.
So you didn't start out that way. Like you started out that way and then.
So after I was done talking to him, I went and talked to his co-host for a little bit, and the co-host going, you ought to go back and keep talking to him. So to me, they're pushing me. Oh, I forgot to tell you on that day, not only did the three things happen that I saw him in the parking lot, when I went inside of the event, I'm standing in the back of the room, and all of a sudden I feel like, well, I need to go sit down. And I walked around and I went to go sit down. There's this big old post there, and I walked around and sat in front of this post, and guess who's all there? Is his crew, his whole crew. So I'm sitting there with his whole crew, like I belong,
That's it. Oh, that's right, huh? I remember you said that.
Yeah. So what happened after that is I told his co-host, no, I'm done. Because I already had the exchange. I had no idea what I was going to do from this moment. And, so I went upstairs and what happened then is I saw him 3 more times afterwards, and I just couldn't bear to face him because I didn't know what else I was supposed to do, be, or say. You know, I've been told that I don't have time for you. I don't want to hear what you have to say. And so that the rest of that event was pretty, even though I stayed there, and I walked right by him once, and I could see he walked right by me too, and we were both walking by each other like a twin flame. I mean, like the mirror image. We were walking by with each other like, I don't got nothing more to say to you.
So you get to heal some from that too and work through that.
Yeah, that when I found out, like when the question came up, I was still feeling it in my shoulders and my throat. So it was, you know, been affecting my throat chakra. I do want to let you know, every event has actually grown me too. I mean, it expanded me, pushed me, just to put that out there too. But I mean, it took me 48 hours before I was online talking about, you know, my emotional feeling with it. I actually had it posted online, but I actually took it away because it wasn't for everybody. It just wasn't for everybody. So anyhow, then I guess it was within a couple weeks, they were having a dance, and you know, I didn't feel it to go at all. But I have the person that I actually took home from the first dance kept calling me and asking me to go and meeting up with somebody else that was local. And so I, you know, went and bought my ticket and was getting ready to go. And I was actually at the door. I'm at the door to go to this dance that I'm not really feeling called to do at this time. This is where I'm talking about other people's energy getting in the middle of the twin flame journey.
Right.
Okay. And so I opened my phone, and for some reason I go check my email. That's not something I would normally do before I'm going to some event or anything. I didn't feel like I needed to, but it had asked me not to show up. So I was okay with that because I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. But I called to see if the other person was going to show up, and they're saying, oh yeah, they didn't. So that means that it was personalized. It was directed to me not to go. Yeah. And then the person that was actually stayed at my place that was actually up north got a hold of me about 3 days later and started questioning me. Oh, I didn't see you there. Where were you? And you know, I wanted to say, I don't know. I don't remember what I said again, but another dance came, and it was 2 more weeks later. She was like, you know, we got to go. Even though she's all the way up north, she's, you know, I'm going to make it there. So I buy my ticket at the last very moment. And I go to the event. Nobody's at the door because I'm coming in late. But what's at the door is something I sent him in the mailbox. Yeah. Yeah, it was sitting up there. It's this little lion, you know, it had some hearts all over it, like the ones that Greg has in his beard in one of the shows. So I'm feeling like I'm welcomed, right? And then I peek my head into where he's at, and the next thing I'm talking to one of the girls, and the next thing the co-host is calling me out into the other room and asking me if I have a ticket to be here. And I said, oh, I go, what am I doing? Being kicked out? I already knew. I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. I didn't feel like I was, because we still had this energy that happened that needed to be resolved, you know? Yeah. And so I was pretty much asked to leave, and I kind of giggled it off and laughed it off. I was okay because I didn't feel like I was supposed to be there. And I really don't want to be in somebody's home that feels uncomfortable with me being there for whatever reason. And I don't think it was really on a personal reason. I just think it has to do with what's going on within the journey reason. Yeah. But the moment I left, the most beautiful thing happened. I went home and I invested so much into my business. It's like all this energy came spurging at me to, you know, create even more, bigger, not because they made me do it. It's that's where my energy needs to be going. If it's not working in the connection.
Ever since you've focused so much on yourself and your show, and your stuff has been growing like crazy.
I'm
So,
almost at 10,000 subscribers. Woo, 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 woo.
yep. Wow.
So what happened from the second dance was that's when I know I was brave and I was ready and it was like a turning point, you know, it was like a big shout out. But after the second dance, I was shut out, not a shout out, I was shut out, right? And so what that's done for me is to go through a renewal, but at that time it was just like a big sign saying, you're not ready, Miss Gypsy, you're not ready. You're just not ready for that next stage. And I really wasn't, but I couldn't see that then. So that second event, that second dance is where the event gave me the feeling of not being worthy enough, right? Now the dance gave me the feeling that, you know, I wasn't really ready. To bring the dance into the now, that's where I want to bring it, is into the now. What's going on with me now? You know, because there's still some of this lingering disappointment. Yeah, it's there because the tears want to come.
Like saying, you know how you were trusting that when you didn't go to the dance or didn't get to go in or this or that it is the universe protecting you and there's a reason you're not supposed to be there, right, and stuff. Do you think why you still feel stuff is partially because you didn't feel maybe or work through the disappointment or the letdown or maybe rejection all the way because you're like, well, it's supposed to, you know, that was it went how it was supposed to? Because I believe that too. I believe everything goes how it's supposed to, but maybe sometimes when we do that, you know, maybe it's still important to make sure we feel the not good feelings all the way to really work through them so they're not just sitting there like still here.
I don't really feel like I was supposed to be there, and I really felt blessed about being sent away, but I think that's not really where the disappointment came, is because I do believe that, you know, we kind of follow each other online still a bit, so there's kind of this other way that we connect. It's hidden. It's not out in the open. It's not plain. It's not like something that, oh, this is you and this is them. It's not that at all. It's hidden. It's very hidden. See, confirmation. Did you hear that?
And then it's the whole time. And
then so recently, you know, what's going on their social media stuff is it was almost like things were going on to like slaughter my dream or to take my dream away, or that's what I wanted, you know. And it was like it was like devastating. It was disappointing. It's like, you know, what are you doing? How are you doing this? Why are you doing this? You know, even though that we're not connected in this 3D way. I mean, I have no business judging in any which way, but it was like it made no sense, you know, because I really feel connected, but yet they're going off into this other direction. So I've had to, that's where the disappointment came in. The disappointment is from what's going on in the present moment. That I don't even feel like it's real. What's weird is I look at when I don't even let myself look at the stuff anymore because of the fact that I don't need to be challenged. I don't need to be into looking at something that I felt like I wanted to be in. And I feel like everything that I expressed myself, even here online, was coming back at me to shove it in my face and saying, you think you know, we're going to show you that you're not as psychic as you are. We're going to show you that your journey has been false. We're going to show you how to shut you down. It's almost like that's what it's felt like to me more so. And so
coming from the universe, or like
what?
Where did you feel that coming from?
From,
Like,
you know, what's going on with their journey right now online, which I don't know if it's
oh,
real or not real. Okay.
okay, got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when I allow myself to pull back and not visualize anything, the journey still is real as real as it really can be. It didn't stop because of the show presence.
Yeah.
What it did with me is it just allow myself to pull all of my energy back to invest into me even more, which is happening. I pulled all of my energy back from being a part of that connection to whether it's happening or not, to be investing more into myself. So I'm being more productive and even more in alignment. There is this underlying residue of disappointment that I will need to take care of. But every time there's something that brings me under with the twin, it is something that lifts me up on top of that.
Right. Like as you go through it and work through it, you end up going even further ahead, or healing, or doing something really good with your show and with everything, right? It like pushes you forward even further, huh?
It makes me value myself even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the things that I, like where I felt rejected, I feel I have expanded. Where I felt I was denied, I feel that I have grown. Where I felt like I was shut down or shut out, I feel renewed. Where I feel like I wasn't worthy, I feel worth. I mean, today is like, no, if this person is meant to be in my life, they will pursue me. I'm the freaking empress. I'm not pursuing, I'm not chasing. I don't have to watch their show. I don't have to know what they're going on in the background, because I love this person unconditionally. If that's what they need to be going through in their life journey for whatever it is, I still love them unconditionally. I may not accept it. I may not understand it, but divine is speaking to me loud and clear. To love unconditionally means that I have to allow them to make their choices, whatever they are, whether they include me in their choices or not.
Which goes back to what I said in the beginning about how with lots of twin flame relationships, that's how it is. There's some major reason why either they can't be together, or it's difficult for them to be together, or this or that. It happens a lot with twin flames.
I really believe since I had that one person come to my house, there's been outside influences in the middle of my journey ever since then. And myself is, I just keep pulling my energy away from any of the outside influences, because I can know from the purity of my heart, from the purity of the person I am, I understand what's going on with the journey to the fullest. Even I know what it's doing to us both. It's growing us, it's expanding us, it's allowing us to feel worthy for who we are as a person, as a soul. If we come together in this lifetime, I really have no idea. I would like to see it happen. I mean, why would divine push me this far to, I have a lot of guys getting in my Uber car now. 80% of my Uber car is guys, but there's that attraction that you feel with the twin is so intense. It's like a feeling you never felt before. It's like somebody's got to be of that level to me to come into my life. And that's
I know. If you felt that, accept less, it just wouldn't feel good. I get that.
It's like, how do I accept less than whole and complete? How do I accept less than the whole journey?
Yeah.
I don't. I accept all of me. And I do believe that we're meant to be together, that it's destined, but if it's not in this lifetime, that's what I don't see. I do see when how I read the cards.
Yeah.
No, the cards are saying this is still on.
Yeah.
The cards keep me in peace. They keep me in balance. It's not that I make the cards happen. I can pull any deck. The same cards are going to come flying out. That's what tells me that this is still on. It hasn't changed.
Yeah. Well, lots of times it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't look like there's any way that it could make sense. But then, you know, one day you find yourself in a different situation, and it all makes sense.
Each flaw that we've talked about, Kathleen, it was perfectly put into place.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfectly pulling out the right, working on the right area of the wounds deep inside. It's perfectly, even the now.
Mm-hmm.
Even the now that I talked about, that disappointment, it was like, that's the disappointment that I have of myself, not of them, of myself, not standing even more full into me, being present into me, to the person that I truly really am. Not because somebody chose me or not chose me.
Isn't it neat that, like, your show has been going on over this journey too, and your show that you're doing is your hidden love story, and it's about loving yourself, and you know, and that way, and feeling all that about yourself. And so it's like you created that show, and then you've been on this journey yourself as well with your twin flame.
I didn't know that they were a twin when I started the show. The show is about your hidden love story, really finding the deep love within yourself. So what the twin does with me, the twin goes ahead and pushes those triggers, lets me find out where those deep wounds are, so I can truly go in and love that deep soul of myself. So that's what's really neat about the journey. I do believe that they're still live and active within my channel and coming and talking to me on a regular basis, but hidden, you know, but I have to figure that out. It's not something that's clear. It's not just a clear path. It's not just one name, you know.
I have to do something really fast.
You got to plug in?
Yes. My phone that I'm recording with. And I will have to hold on to it if the cat stops playing with it. Anybody want a cat?
Pretty.
Divine?
I don't think he stuck around. I don't know.
He really leave around.
There's some people watching us, so. So anyhow,
yeah, I think that's the neatest thing, though, how you've been on the journey that yourself, that you created your show about. Basically, it's so pretty.
Yeah, like I have two hidden love stories. I got the hidden love within me, and I got that hidden love I got out there hiding somewhere.
Yep. Ow, the cat is biting me really bad.
It's normally what my dog is doing.
Oh.
So those are the growing pains that I would, wanted to bring up and out within the show is, some of the things that we talked about, the pain in the chest is because of the rejection, which I'm, have learned to expand. And the denial was from the heart chakra, which I'm learning that as I'm learning to allow the heart to grow, to be, the heart's not in pain, the heart is growing. If it's in pain, it's the pain of the growth, not the pain that hurts and keeps us under. And if it's feeling shut out or shut down, it's like, no, I feel refreshed. I feel renewed, that I've been renewing my soul and my purpose. And if it's disappointment, it's not disappointment. It's about perfection. It's really perfecting my talents and my skills to truly come out to the fullest way. It's like rebuilding the heart. So it's operating from wisdom. It's operating from strength. It's operating from this soulmate twin flame connection has been a big part of the journey for me to even stand taller on my own stage. Maybe one day we'll share a stage together, maybe not. I want to put it out there that we share it together, but it was like, if I were to meet him today, am I going to be able to talk to him, or are we going to have a repeat of the past? That's why I wanted to
how would you like to see things go if you say you did? I mean, you are giving Southern California, and he is as well.
Yeah, we're
So
not
say
really
you
that
run
far
across each
away.
other out getting a coffee or something. What
Yeah.
would this cat is gonna get it. Just kidding.
The cat says, get to the point.
It's being so mean. It's never this mean. But how would you like, say you came across him, say you were in a parking lot and you're getting out of his car, he's getting out of his, and there he is. What would happen?
Well, I would like for him to notice me first. I really would like that instead of me.
Say you looked at each other at the same time and
right.
and say he says, hey, or
I would love that. I would love that. For him to say, hey, I would say, hey, what's up?
and then what?
Going, I would probably go right into, do you know my YouTube channel's almost got 10,000 subscribers?
And he says, wow, that's pretty awesome.
Let's open the channel up. Let's open the conversation up that way. Do you know how much just being on this journey with you and behind the scene has grown me and expanded me? I want to thank you so much for being who you are, even though you've shut me down and pushed me away and kept me at a distance, whether you knew it or not. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I really, really have appreciated and admired the journey that I still don't feel like we're on. But I don't want to do all the talking. I'd like to hear more of his input, because I know if I've been on this journey, they've been on this journey too. I would love for us to be able to sit down for that cup of coffee or or whatever it is, and just let our stories come out and see how they really collided together. And it wasn't separate at all.
Mm-hmm.
That we just had to go through it on how we just had to go through this on being separate, so we could actually have that bump in the parking lot or wherever that divine sets up some way magically, because I'm not going to set it up no more. I already did all my setup.
Oh my gosh.
Not to chase. And I would like it to be more comfortable, free-flowing, more relaxed. Let's put it that way.
Right, more relaxed. Yeah.
Yeah, relaxed. It's like, hey, hi, what's up? What you been up to? Hey, you've been taking your Mustang out for a spin anywhere?
You know what I noticed too? The things you're saying, how you would picture it going or would like it to go, whatever. It reminds me once again, I don't know why I always go back to the festival. I don't know why, but it reminds me of that again, because, once again, you're not really asking him for anything. You're just letting him know stuff and saying thank you and appreciating him again. And isn't that the same thing that went on at the festival?
Yeah,
right?
I never have wanted him for any, it's not like I wanted him for.
Well, just for asking for a meeting or asking to meet up or asking to talk, even though you're not asking for much, like he may have felt that way or something. So it could be a good way to start. I don't know. I mean, just thinking, because when it involves another person, I guess it depends on what their feeling of it too, or how it's coming across to them. But just as you've healed, and grown a lot over this journey yourself, sure maybe they have too, and maybe they wouldn't take things the same way as she wants to get together and talk with me. She wants this for me. She wants that for me. Maybe they don't feel that anymore. Maybe they would feel it as, oh, she wants to get together and have a conversation, and it could go good, so because I mean, not everybody grows, but I'm sure with who he is and everything, I'm sure he's been growing and healing from things too, don't you think?
I believe that anybody that's following my channel, and as long as they've been following the channel, they're definitely growing. There's no way that you're following my channel without any personal growth. And that personal growth is healing us, it is expanding us, it is allowing us to get through these lower vibrational feelings. And I believe that he's been there in the background. You can't tell me, I mean, to me, there's nobody that can tell me that he hasn't. I don't have any visual proof. I don't have anything that says that's him. All I have is my intuition. My intuition tells me that he's there. And so from that level, yes, we have grown. They're not the same person that even from the day that we went to that event together, Kathleen, they have grown so much from that time because they look at things differently. They're looking they're looking at, it's not about being better than the rest, but it's about being best enough for yourself. It's being, being strong enough for yourself to protect yourself from those others that when the lower energy comes in, we can protect ourselves, but we don't have to be, it's just because we're protecting ourselves doesn't mean we're better. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's just more.
As he used to think that way maybe, but he's grown with that too, right? And doesn't really,
yes.
At least he doesn't come across that way like anymore. And he sees things differently than he used to see them too.
Yeah, and I got people in the chat says how it depends upon is the person or if they will realize or time will give lessons, and they're agreeing with Miss Gypsy.
Yeah.
I truly believe if you guys are coming to my channel, you guys are growing, you're learning, you're expanding, because I'm showing you guys how to really truly shift that mindset around. So we're feeling this higher vibrational way, this higher vibrational story within our journey, that we're not allowing the journey to take us under. We're not allowing the journey to allow us to feel depleted, and we're not allowing the journey to make us feel less than important. Actually, when you guys are coming here onto the channel, I do believe it is about allowing the person, whoever the person is, to allowing them to be them, allowing them to grow. So we let them go so they can go through that own personal growth. I do believe that you being here on the channel, it is about surrendering to what it is that we thought love was supposed to be, and allow ourselves to love ourselves deeper, from a deeper level, from a more personal level. So, and from that level, when somebody's been following my channel for a year and a half, they have definitely grown. And so when we come back together again, and the next time, we're not going to be the same. Both of us will react differently. I'm not going to react so less important, because I'm just as valuable as that person is.
Right. Yeah, I definitely feel, I've seen that you feel different in that way too. I see that you are 100% like know who you are, and and see your worth and your value. And I don't see that all anymore. I feel like a long time ago I kind of saw that slightly, that you maybe didn't know if as far as talking to him or being around him, you maybe felt like a little bit like less than he was or something, but I don't see that at all these days. Well, if anything, I feel like you're above and beyond.
I used to put them on the pedestal, and I don't want, I'm even if I am above them, I don't want to project myself above them, because I'm not on the pedestal. I don't want to be higher than them. I want to be equal, because they have their things to share and I have my things to share. And if one of them is up on the pedestal, what does that do to the other one? It makes the other one feel less than.
Right.
We need to be, if we can put both of us on the pedestal, that's the perfect balance. That's the perfect
Agreed.
blend.
Yeah. I agree.
So in my journey,
does anybody have any questions? Like you can ask if anybody who's watching has any questions for you about residual feelings, emotions, and stuff.
Questions about your journey or things, when we're letting that one go that we love so much, how do we hold our balance, or when we're letting that loved one go that much, we're operating from trust, we're operating from divine love. I'm in a higher vibration. They chased me every time. I say this daily. That's what someone in the chat saying. I am in a higher
Aw.
vibration. They will chase me every time. And they're saying that.
Aw.
Yeah. It has been a journey, and it's definitely been a journey that has grown me to be, put me more into my character, put me into my vibrational flow to who I truly really am. And it's not less than, it's not that they're better than me. It's not that they have a bigger spotlight than me. It's not any of that. It's just, I have my own way of having my own spotlight. They have their own way of having their own spotlight. And I still do believe that one day we'll come together. When that day is, I don't know, because, if I'm looking on the scene of what's going on in the background, that could be a long time from now. So that means that means I truly have to let go of when, how, what, why, where, when, and go with the now and the flow, and keep investing into me and allowing myself to stand on my own pedestal, because that's where I placed me, not because they placed me there.
100%. Yeah.
It says, I want to ask how we can chasing mode our person every day, please. Nimish, the best thing I would say is the best way to get someone to come to myself is to be that awesome, amazing, beautiful person that you are. Allow yourself to shine, allow yourself to radiate, allow yourself to be whole, allow yourself to be complete, because that's going to get them to want to pursue you, because you're shining at the max. Myself, I chased for a while, and then, once I got my message out there is, who I am, then I let go. I let go because I don't want to chase, but I'm not running. I'm allowing, that's what I'm doing. And so the divine masculine, what they love to do is to pursue, but we have to be in alignment for that pursuing to take place.
Yeah, and as far as alignment goes, I think it's super important for everybody, if you're not, we'll say you're not with somebody, but you want to be with somebody someday. I think it's so important to live your life the way you would if you were with the person or the kind of person you'd want to be with someday, because I think that attracts the kind of person that would fit with you and into your life. Already live the way you would if you were with that, person you would love to be with. I think that attracts that kind of person.
I deserve love, and if she wants me, then she will chase me, only I'm not running, of course. And it's like, be the love that you want from her, okay? And it's not necessarily even the chase, because the chase can feel uncomfortable too, because it can. we want it to just happen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I don't
understand
really
what I'm
like
trying
the
to
chase.
Yeah, because the chase is like,
It
okay,
feels like a game.
you're chasing, and when they get close to you, you go, what the, what was that? That's why
I like when it naturally happens, like between both is my favorite, where it's not like one is chasing after the other. It just oops. But that doesn't mean it's a twin flame or anything. That's too easy.
To deserve love is to be that love that you deserve to be that love that you deserve to receive, because that's what attracts it. We want
that's what I'm saying. Like be like everything that you'd want from somebody else, already give that to yourself and be that yourself already, and that attracts that type of person to you and into your life.
Yeah. We may not have all the answers, but we have a lot of them. So yeah, Nimish, that's what I would, instead of saying I deserve love, there's love that you deserve. Make sure that you're loving yourself to the max, to that way, and being that love, you know. I believe that the Gypsy medicine, and so I trust everything what she says, and I focus on my job. That's right. It is focus on being that awesome, amazing, beautiful person you are. If your job is something that you love to do, then you focus on that. If the job's not something that you love to do, making sure that you're investing your time into something that you love to do. That's what I mean by focusing on you. Let's get that love, you know, something that you love to do. Let's put your passion into it. Put some action into that passion. Put your desire into it, because the more that we put our action into our passion, it creates that desire even bigger. And who do you desire? You desire that you to come out more beautifully. You flourish more awesomely. You allow that rainbow effect to happen. You allow that light to shine within. That light shines from the inside out so bright. Well, Kathleen,
So after going through all these things, that all the meetups that you had with your twin flame and stuff, especially tonight after talking about everything, do you still feel there's still more to work through?
I really don't know. Well, because you really don't see what it is to come, right? Because I really feel like what's going on in the background should have been going on with us, not with what's going on. And since that's what's taking place, it's taking myself on another path, but the path is still to up level my game for myself. So I'm not being affected by what's taking place, but still loving them unconditionally for whatever is going on within their journey. Knowing that I do believe that they unconditionally love me too. Not trying to put words into their mouth. Or can I? Well, because I don't want to be, I'm making sure I'm not wanting to be led with deception.
I have a question. Do you think that twin flames, you know how they help each other do all the things we said, like the go way inside yourself, dig everything up and grow and heal and all of that, right? Do you think that sorry to explain, do you think that in life they are always together at some point? Or do you think there's times where, you know, you're like in each other's lives and not like all the way together, but like kind of like you've been doing? I don't know. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not sure what I'm asking.
So I believe the twin flames are connected for life. I do believe that twin flames are meant to come together, but that's, again, if the twin flames are doing the work behind the scenes, you know. I think it's the ultimate love story for a twin flame to come together in the lifetime. I can't imagine why divine would lead and guide me to this much of the journey, and for it not to happen within this lifetime. I know other people say, well, maybe you're in a false twin flame. I can't even imagine that, because it doesn't, I mean, it's just been too surreal.
I feel like too much has happened to say something like that.
Right.
I mean, when we talk about the synchronicities and stuff, it's really way, you've talked to people about it before, and when you get into it, people are like, okay, that's like enough, because it's so much. It really is. So I don't think that. I definitely believe in it. I just it's just interesting to me, because I've really heard that, like, so many times with the person that is like your twin flame, it's like they're, you know, it's like somebody that it'd be really hard to in this life actually be with them and stuff. But then I've never.
I beg to differ. I think that what we've gone through is lining up and to come together. I do believe that what we're going through, that we could actually go through that together. And the only reason why it's hard is because we put hard out there. I think any relationship is challenging, and I believe that the twin flame is challenging too. It may be a little bit more challenging, but the thing is you're both awakened. If you're coming into the twin flame relationship being awoken, that you both are aware of these triggers that are happening, that we're not sitting there blaming, oh, you just made me do this, we're not blaming the other one for the trigger, but we're allowing each other to grow through the trigger. And so that's why it's beneficial for the twins to come together within this lifetime. It is the ultimate mate. It is the ultimate partner.
With the hardness I was talking about it's just when I was reading about it before, like I said, so many people's stories, I didn't know them. It's just other people joining and saying their story was, I know this is my twin flame, but like I said, I met them on a trip to Japan, and I don't know how I would ever go back there again, or I know this is my twin flame, but she's married to my brother or something, it seemed like so many people like that was the case. So I'm like curious, like if maybe, I don't know, maybe being not really with them is at least for a while, is a way that for people to heal and grow and feel things even more or something. Maybe it pulls more up that way, or maybe it's just, healing you guys and making you work through things and stuff, so that, like we've said before, when you come together at one point, eventually, a lot's already worked through.
Right.
So you're more likely to be able to work together and be together, and and the kind of way you want to.
I do believe that most twin flames got to go through the journey, like I've been going through this journey, before they actually come together, because that's why you guys meet, is to go through that healing process, to go through the healing cycle. Doesn't mean that you have to be all the way healed before the togetherness happens. It just means
because we're always still, there's always going to be more stuff to
every day of our lives, we're going to be healing to one level or another. So that's why we have to heal all the way. But I do believe the reason why they don't meet up right away is because of the things that, to me, if we would have hooked up earlier, we would have never made it.
Yeah, it's like it keeps you at a safe distance, at least temporarily, while some of the things are worked through and healed, right?
Right. Which takes time, it takes awareness. It takes conscious awareness that the growth is taking place and moving forward. And let's move through these lower emotional feelings that have got us stuck, locked up and blocked, so we can actually come together and have a decent connection, with calmness.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, and that would make sense for yours too. And we never really know how things are going to go, like with people and stuff. So even if it really does look like it's not making sense or whatever, like right now, it doesn't mean that a year or 2 or 3 or whatever later that everything wouldn't be exactly the way it would need to be for it to happen, so we just never know.
Well, I one is, my belief is I don't want to be a third party in any connection, and that's another reason why I pulled back. If they're choosing to be with someone else, I want to give them the space to be able to be with them without, me longing or wishing or wanting it to be different. You made your choice, and I'm going to be okay.
And that's no, really, and that's unconditional love for them too. It's not unconditional love wouldn't mean that you're okay being a third party or anything, but it means you're still loving them in whatever way they're going, like on their path, like during this time,
Yeah, I still feel them. I know I still get the hots for them, whether I want it to be there or not. I have no control over that. Just certain things will be said, or something will play, or some energy will come by. And I know, I mean, it's like they're right here in my present moment right now. So it's not something I can hide or shut down, and nor do I want to, because it feels so blessed. It feels so amazing. Why would I want to shut down something that feels so good? Why would I want to turn it off?
Right. I just had a thought. What, got any cards nearby?
Which deck?
Which one's wanting to be read?
Let's see. How about, that doesn't feel hot.
That's what I was thinking, the one that feels warm.
Well, let's see. The Light Seer deck is the one that's sitting right here on the desk. There must be a reason for it. Well, it's about unconditional love coming together. Yep. That is two soulmates coming together. Yeah. With excitement, with passion, with desire. Yeah, baby.
Oh
yeah. Let it happen. Come on forward. Ooh, makes me hot.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I already start feeling all happy.
I said the divine masculine, he actually is in balance, and he's got some wings on, and this is divine has been helping him to be in his balanced format. Things are going on in the background we don't know, and there are so many people out there that are wishing and dreaming for the two of you to come together. People you don't even know are wishing for you two to come together, because they know how much passion and how much desire that divine feminine has in this journey, and how much this means to her for that Two of Cups, for that soulmate connection to come to life right here, right now, today. You can't make
I knew it.
Up.
You know what? I knew it when it first came to my mind. I knew it was going to come up. Two of Cups. I knew it.
The bottom of the deck, that Two of Cups makes her so happy. And it was this card. We have a Mustang here in the back. We have 4 wands that are up. That's like union coming together. That's what makes her happy, because she's on fire. She's passion and action and desire. She still believes in the soulmate connection coming together in life.
Aww.
I can't make it
Love
up.
that.
If we're going to be talking about my soulmate or my twin flame, this card's going to come up almost every time. If not that card, the lovers will come up. There's so many cards, it's an awesome, amazing, beautiful journey to be on. And I'd love to share the journey with them in person.
I know. You never know.
I do believe it's a divine calling.
Yeah.
It's all about, allowing us both to feel worthy enough to have this unconditional love story come to life, into realness, where it's not knocking us under, but it's giving us life,
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty reading. So perfect.
I know, after the Two of Cups comes up, I don't got nothing more to read.
Yeah.
I don't have to go on and on. I don't have to see what it is we don't see.
Oh, the cat is biting me again.
Because I give you some loving, Mama.
Really hard. You won't believe how hard. I'm smiling, but it's really bad. This cat, I don't know. Kitty, stop it. Well, Naya's behaving. Don't hear her making any noise or anything. She's being a good dog. Why don't you be a good kitty?
I don't know why. She wasn't behaving at the beginning of the show, but I want to thank you so much for coming on live to talk about part of my hidden love story with my twin flame connection, and part of the journey more so to see where some of the residue may still be, so I can be working on it through the tapping and the Ho'oponopono.
Right. It's so good to know. It made me think about some things that I think I've healed on, and processed, and we're all gone. And seeing you and hearing you talk about your stuff made me think, I should go back and kind of go over them and see if there is anything left over anywhere that I'm feeling. And I'm going to do that tapping thing that you do and try to get that energy moving and unstuck if there is.
When the idea came up, I didn't really realize that there was stuff blocked in me, but it must be a reason why it's coming up. And as it came up, as the topic came up, I'm going, ooh, I do have blockages in my chest. Ooh, I do feel it in my heart. Ooh, I do feel it in my centered self, Ooh, I do have this pain that's in my shoulders that actually affect my throat chakra, so it's like, and so since some of that's come up, I've already been able to do some of the healing process in it. It's like, so it's not so intense in the chest, and so the heart's coming more calm, and so the center is more balanced, and the throat chakra is opening up more. But to see, I would have never been able to know. I don't know that I would have ever known that was still in my energy flow if we didn't bring it up to conscious awareness and talk about it.
Right. I know. And it doesn't always feel the best to do it, right? Feeling some of those feelings again, but gotta do it to work through them and move them on their way.
The main reason why I wanted to do it is because when we meet again, I'd like to be imbalanced for that and not allowing any of the residues of the past be running the show.
I think you will be.
Yeah.
I picture you will be. Yeah.
So that was my main reason, is let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's see what's still in there. So the day that we do bump into each other, who knows when that would be, but is to know that I will be able to be emotionally sound. I'll be in balance. There won't be that anxiety or that nervousness of, like the first time at the beach, like I was nervous, even though I was brave, I was nervous,
Yeah.
It was weird because I had him up on this pedestal where I wasn't, and so it's nice to see that, I don't feel like he's higher than me on a pedestal anymore. I don't feel like he's lower either. I do believe that we're on equal terms.
Yeah.
I just haven't thought that. No, I do believe that we're more in balance in that way. So it was nice to come up with that. And it's just making sure that whenever that bump in happens, that these residues of the past, any of it, is cleared out fully. And not just thinking it is, but and that when we talk about it, it actually brings it to the conscious awareness to what still needs to become imbalanced. Because I'm really shocked. I'm really shocked that we haven't come together from divine. Why are you letting me down this road to put me here? But even in the last 2 weeks, I can see clearly why.
Yeah.
Which has to do with me being more stern about my production movement forward. So I'm embracing
more solid in yourself.
So it's a solid flow. It's not like, because my flow is a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. No, it's about being fully committed and embracing what it is I'm doing. So when we do come together, I'm not allowing anyone to de-embrace me. Does that make sense? So they're not
it does. Definitely. Yeah.
Just because I would have them on a higher pedestal, that would be, So I'm wanting to allow myself to be imbalanced. And so when that time comes, that we're in alignment more so than ever before.
Mm-hmm. Very good. I like it.
Woo, 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 woo. I thank you so very much for taking me down this rabbit hole.
For
On
sure.
the first, on the month, the first is, you go say rabbit, rabbit, and that brings in wishes for the month.
Oh.
It brings the luck in. You say rabbit,
Nice.
rabbit. It's the first of the month, and it's the first of the month, so rabbit, rabbit. Woo, woo.
Also, like, I heard you're supposed to, I forgot to, I was gonna blow a little bit of cinnamon into the front door of your place from the outside. Yeah, and be and put your intentions that you're just like you do, with everything else, you set your intentions as you're blowing that cinnamon into your home.
Yeah.
For the first of the month. So on that note, we have a beautiful kitty here we're giving away tonight to the first caller. First person who wants him, I'll ship him out tonight. This is the one that's been biting my legs the whole time. He can be sweet. His name it changes every 5 minutes. But if anybody wants him, Noah would be so mad.
How many kitty cats do you have, though?
Huh?
Hello, Rhonda. Woo, woo.
Is Rhonda the one that wants the kitty?
She's just saying hello. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Your address, Rhonda, and I'll send him out tonight.
I have a place for him. Oh, Rhonda has a place for him.
No, he's crazy, but I'll keep him.
He looks beautiful, so. Yeah. All right, so I guess we're going to end the show. I do want to thank you so much for this journey that you were willing to go on with me and to go live with it. Make it public that, what is a twin flame journey? Well, I kind of just shared where I've learned what a twin flame journey within my own journey. That's all I've been really sharing, and the process that I've been going to continue on growing within the journey. So it is not so I'm not bringing hard into it. I'm bringing growth into it.
Right. Yeah, because we've talked, on your shows and stuff before about a lot of the fun stuff, the neat stuff that's happened, all the coincidences, synchronicities and stuff. And it's so fun. But this is the first time we went through everything and really looked way deep into, like you said, all the growth and everything you've been going through with.
Well, we looked at the residue, what's still left over that really hasn't been dealt with, and then what can we do? And what we can do is first we became aware of what those feelings were. We became aware of where they're holding inside of my body somewhere, and we can release that with the EFT, with the tapping, going through the tapping thing to release that, so it moves it, shifts it, release it from the body.
Yeah.
So that was what was neat about this show. It was really more about talking about the journey with the ups and the downs, and what to do with the downs that are still affecting the mind, body, and soul.
Well, earlier in the show, you were feeling some of that, and we're doing some of that tapping and working through right there. And so people can actually see it in process, that was really neat.
I would do it longer on my own, They call me crazy. We be wonderful together. Love everything. Love Gypsy. So, Rhonda, are you in California? That's where the kitty is. The kitty's up in California.
I don't mind shipping internationally or whatever it takes. I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's the cat lady. All right. So, and we even had a beautiful reading at the end that had the Two of Cups show up.
so neat. That it just popped in my head, like, you know, and when it pops in my head, I can't ignore it. I'm like, okay, something wants to say, let's do a reading. So
Yeah.
it was so perfect. I think that was the universe wanting to, you know, because we were talking about all this stuff about whether or not, or this or that. Oh, we think this, we think that. And I think the universe wanted to
Solidify the deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very well. Thank you for sharing everything. And it's your journey, but watching you talk about it all and everything, it teaches me and other people stuff too about our own lives, our own journeys that we can use. So thank you. And thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. I mean, you're the one that's been there right along my side along the way, that to make it so, you know, it's not just all in my head thing. It has been real. It has been live. It has been amazing. It's been a beautiful journey. That's why I wanted you to be the one that came on live on the show to kind of discuss this with me, because I know that you know that this is not a pretense. It's not made up, but it's so real.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. All I can say is my mind, like hundreds of things start coming to mind.
I know there's so much. It's like we could talk for days about my own personal journey that Kathy's been affected by just being present in the moment and watching the journey.
Yeah, his last name coming up on things right when we are talking about him, like when we went the wrong way, you know. Remember and that?
You turn right where the name is just as big as can be.
Big, huge last name right in front of our faces, right when we're talking about him. My gosh, there's so much stuff over the journey.
Yeah. And all right, so and I do believe my journey is helping other people, you know, and especially since I go live all the time, I believe that whatever I'm going through, I'm helping other people grow and learn within their journey so they can trust and believe in themselves too, and give them strength and give them courage and give them momentum and still claim their lives in the middle of the journey, because it does get a little challenging at times where we go into lack and less than and doubt and insecurity and fear that, you know, we're making this all up or this isn't real. But that's why I really, really, really love to be here for you guys, is to let you guys know, no, that's the lower vibrational story that's trying to take our real story away, the vibrant story. We need to definitely keep jumping into that happier vibrational story, because that's what's feeding our soul.
For sure. Would you read that one thing one more time where you wrote out, where I used to feel this, now I feel that, where I used to feel, you were saying it earlier, it was really pretty.
Well, on the show where I was feeling rejected, I'm feeling that I have expanded. Where I was feeling denial, I'm feeling growth. Where I was feeling shut out, I'm feeling renewed. Where I was feeling not worthy, I'm feeling valuable. Where I was feeling disappointment, I'm feeling perfection. I'm feeling wise, I'm feeling wisdom.
Yeah, that's really pretty. I like that. All that you just said is so nice.
Yeah, maybe I'll write something up quick and short like that and put it into a little thing together to post, you know.
Do it. That's really pretty. I think a lot of people can relate to that. That's really neat.
Yeah, because that would be like growing pains within the twin flame connection, and then I could put that underneath it, right?
Yeah, that look neat. I like it. Very
so
nice.
Tomorrow night's show, should I continue on with growing pains with tomorrow? No, I don't know. I'll let it come up. I probably have something else since we talked about it thoroughly here. So, all right. Maybe we'll go now.
Okay.
I'm surprised Noah didn't come in.
Huh?
I'm surprised Noah didn't come in.
I know. One time he came out of the room, but I know he heard us talking, so he went back in.
Oh.
He's
Now,
being a good boy.
is that your spare room that you're in?
Right now, I'm in the living room.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm like facing the living room.
I see.
I'm sitting on the floor on a pillow at my coffee table.
That.
That's slanted. I was trying to find decent lighting. I don't have too much bright light in the in my house, and so when it gets dark, it's kind of dark, and I couldn't find my one lighting thing I had before, so I had to find the best spot.
Well, I got anybody watching the show. I have been writing. I've been doing the horoscope for the month. So I think I have 4 of them posted right now, and I have 2 more done. So I have 6 more to go. So by the end of the week, probably sooner, I'm going to have all the horoscope listings up. So go ahead and please go over there and watch them. And
so
then,
is it one show per like, do you do like the Taurus for the month and Leo for the month, stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm just doing one at a time.
Okay. Yeah. And each video is for the different sign?
Right. I do one video for each sign. I'm playing around with different ideas. One of the ideas is I might bring my Thursday night shows to be doing the lives for the 12 signs. I might end up doing that versus doing readings for everybody on Thursday nights. I'm not quite sure.
Ooh, that would be kind of neat.
Yeah, just trying to play around with I want to make sure I'm getting the signs out there, and it takes so much time and energy and effort to piece it all out. And since I'm already live for so long on Thursdays, I can always make my Mondays so everybody can come in, and my Thursdays for the collective, or not just collective, but per sign.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it might bring a more audience into my show is what I'm looking at. So, because right now everybody's coming in for their turn, which keeps the audience level more lower because I can only do so many readings in a given night.
Yeah.
But if I'm going to do 12 signs, which I do 22 readings in a night.
Yeah, then it could be then it wouldn't be for just a few people you're doing them for. It would be for oh, that's such a good idea. I like that.
So maybe tomorrow night I'll do the signs that I haven't done. I don't want to do it that way because it wouldn't be fair, because I have 6 of them that are already done, that are individually done. But we'll see. I like to go with the flow of things. I know.
Right?
Yeah, I know Thursday's probably going to end up being that in the long run by this, in this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to, what I would like to do with Wednesdays is kind of bring a guest speaker on from somewhere, somehow, whether it's Harry Be Happy or rather it's another person that I know, which is Jerry Cook. She does hypnotic stuff, and just bringing other people onto the show so we can have variety. So yeah, you're my breaking in point.
Lots of good ideas.
I might bring my brother in once too, just for him to maybe do whatever tarot stuff he wants, or just to.
Oh, that would be cool.
Something different, That's my plans, to start working on my Wednesdays and doing that.
Hey, sounds good.
So we've been on the show, 2.5 hours tonight?
Yes.
I guess we know how to talk. I know how to talk.
I know. Okay. Yeah.
All right. And I know you got a lot of other work to do too, so I don't want to keep holding you up. All right, thank you again so very much. And until next time, and thank you everybody for coming into the live show and being present. And until next time, I'll see you guys tomorrow night for sure.
All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you later.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.